Hey everyone, this is Arindam. Hope everyone's doing fine. In this video, we will be continuing where we left off in the first part of this series. So if you have not watched that, please make sure you go back and watch that first, and then you can come back to this one. The link for that should come somewhere around here on your screen, and I'll also put a link for that in the description below. This entire video is indexed, so feel free to jump around to your desired section whenever you want. Now before I start, something that I should make clear is who is this video for, because there are various avenues as to where you can invest, and there is no standardized single answer for everyone. For example, your area of investment changes based on various factors like your age, your net worth, whether you're currently working, your ability to take risks, etc. And hence, this video is addressed for those who are currently generating some sort of income, or if you have some sort of surplus cash and you're willing to invest the same. If you are close to your retirement age, you can still start investing, but when you fall in that age bracket, investing where I am going to say may not be suitable for everyone. Hence, if you decide to start doing it, please have a discussion with someone who can guide you based on your individual circumstances, or you can even get in touch with me. I can help you with that. So with that cleared, let's get started. The area of investment that I've chosen for this video is something I'm sure everyone has heard of, and some of you might have even guessed it by now, and that is mutual funds. So why mutual funds? That's because this is the safest and the easiest way to shift your idea of investment from an FD or an LIC, which is not even an investment, to something that actually is, and something that actually beats inflation. In other words, this is the safest way for you to start with your journey of investment in equities. Now, for those of you who do not have any idea as to what a mutual fund is, I'll just give a brief idea. Say ICICI Prudential, which is a mutual fund company, or most commonly known as an asset management company, collects some money from investors, that is you and me, and accumulates that collected money in a pool of funds, and this pool of funds is what you would call a mutual fund. Now, what does ICICI Prudential do with this accumulated amount of money? It would invest these in various financial instruments like equities and other financial securities like government bonds or commercial papers, etc. etc. Now, since ICICI Prudential is managing your money and is investing on your behalf, it will charge a commission for the same. And when ICICI Prudential makes a return from those investments, after deducting its commission, it would pass on the rest to the investors again, that is you and me. And we would be getting it in the share that we had in that pool of investment that we had. So in simple terms, this is basically how a mutual fund functions. Now, what type of mutual fund can you start with? So there are various types of mutual funds available, and since I do not want to complicate the situation for you to start investing, the type that I would suggest for you is index mutual funds. So what index mutual fund does is they replicate the returns given by an index of a country. So in India, we have two major indexes, that is Nifty and the Sensex. So before I move ahead, let me give you a brief explanation as to what an index is. To give an analogy, say you want to form a global cricket team that would represent planet Earth. So what would you do? You would take the best players from different international cricket teams around the world, and you would combine them and put them together, and that is what we would call the global cricket team, right? The same concept applies in case of an index as well. Now, in the case of Indian economy, there are various sectors like the international cricket teams. So there is auto, there is financial services, there is IT, there is banking, there is metals, and etc. etc. Now, to form an index, you take the largest and the most actively traded companies out of these individual sectors and you put them together, and that is what you would call a Nifty or a Sensex here in India. The performance of this index depends on how these companies perform and grow over a period of time. Now, if I talk about returns, both Nifty and Index has given a return of around 11 to 12% for the past 15 years. But there is no guarantee it will keep doing so in the next 15 years, but it will for sure be greater than FDs, and 100% it will beat inflation. But why am I suggesting index funds as something you can start your investments with? Now, remember I said index funds are something that replicate the return of an index over a period of time. And these indexes like the Nifty and Sensex, they are considered as benchmark indexes. So the performance of any mutual fund will be measured against these indexes. So for example, in any particular year, say the Sensex give a return of around 15%, and in that same year a particular mutual fund gave a return of around 18%. So in that year, that mutual fund has beaten the index, and the fund manager of that particular mutual fund has done a good job. But in case of index funds, there is no question of beating or overperforming or underperforming the index, because they will just replicate the index. And it is for this very reason these funds invest in large and stable companies, and that is the very reason index funds are comparatively safer and less volatile for someone to start their investing in equities with. Now, there are other areas as well where you can invest, like there are other types of mutual funds which can give you a higher return than an index mutual fund, or if you want, you can directly invest in equities as well. So if you are already in the investing game, and if you think you have some time to gather some knowledge and do some research, you can invest in these other areas as well. But whatever you do, please do not keep your money stuck in FDs or in your savings account. Start with an index fund, and then you can gradually diversify from there. And also, the amount of money that you have for your investment does not matter. In mutual funds, you can start with as low as rupees 500 even. So if you think you have any fund shortages or you do not have any surplus amount now, start with rupees 500 and make sure you keep increasing that gradually as your income increases. Alright, so that was it for this video. In the next part, which will be the final part, I'll be talking about as to how you can choose the right index fund, and I'll be also mentioning the various platforms through which you can start making your first investment. And I'll be mentioning few additional points as well, which you should keep in mind when you start making your first investment. So stay tuned for that. Please subscribe to my channel and press the notification icon below so that you get notified whenever I upload that video and all the upcoming videos. Please like and share this one if you found it useful. Until then, see you and bye bye.